Are you struggling for consistency in your sim racing? Does your iRating look like a roller coaster? If so, we have good news for you. The way to get more consistent is to first understand what you're doing differently than the professionals. And VRS is the answer. With our competitive subscription, you will have the telemetry, setups, tutorials, and everything else you need to fully analyze your driving. Our data packs and the ability to compare your driving with the best in the world will show you exactly where to adjust your inputs, change your driving line, and shave seconds off of your lap times. And our powerful and precise Direct Force Pro wheelbase and precision pedals are being used by some of the world's best drivers, including Peter Berryman, John Robertson, Brandon Trano, and IndyCar World Champion Alex Palou. All these champions agree that VRS hardware is not just the best on the market, it's also priced well below the competition. So if you're looking to upgrade to direct drive and the best pedals in sim racing, VRS is your answer. If you want to get better, get faster, and make it happen sooner rather than later, you owe it to yourself to find out why so many people are switching to VRS. You'll be so glad that you did. Visit www.virtualracingschool.com and learn why the best use VRS.
Hello and welcome as the XSLR Championship returns after a 2-week break for round 9, and it's all change as we head into the road section of the championship. The German town of Hockenheim, where we are tonight, has become synonymous with motor racing thanks to its famous circuit, which has transformed from a high-speed blast through the forest to a more sedate, could you maybe say, trip through a modern autodrome. Building work began here back in the March of 1932, and only 2 months later in the May, the first motorcycle race at Hockenheim got underway, and for this small town, it marked the beginning of a long association with motorsport. I'm Tim Cox, we've got Dennis Brantz in the production booth, but right now, as always, I'm joined by Adam Thompson. Adam, welcome along, and I think 2 key points. One, obviously, I know you're aware, obviously in the previous round of the championship, I upset my neighbours, as it's the small hours in the UK here, with my overexcited commentary during the last section of the championship. And also, could anyone beat Cam Peterson?
Well, let me answer both of those, Tim. So, number one, if you were getting pretty excited for sure for these for those dirt road races in the Pro 4s that we just finished, going into this, I have a feeling it's going to be even more exciting. So, you better get some you better start letting your neighbors know. You better get some money put aside just for the Happy Neighbor Fund for the rest of these races. But when it comes to Cam Peterson, Tim, I really don't know. This guy is just everything that's been run so far across asphalt oval, dirt road. He's just been unstoppable. And the only race he lost was Daytona on the asphalt ovals in the 89s or the 87s, the NASCARs. So I really don't know if there's going to be anybody that can touch him. Actually, the guy we're watching right now is probably going to be the closest bet with Bobby Ross. Following through some of the practice sessions I've seen this week, Bobby's been pretty quick, so we'll see if he can put anything, mount a charge against Cam. You know, in this track, if you can stay close enough, the slipstream in these cars, I think, are pretty powerful. So there may be a bit of a chance, but I guess we're just going to find it out. And with that being said, speaking of Cam, Connie, the first person on the YouTube chat, always making sure to shout out her son. So he's definitely got at least one follower watching the race tonight.
He has indeed, and utilising the Lotus 79, an absolutely iconic car that's full of mechanical grip to negotiate through these corners. Absolutely epic fun to drive. A bit on the modern version of the circuit. Unfortunately, iRacing doesn't have the historic version. It used to take you, continue on past what is now turn 2, out deep into the forest, of course. Many changes were made, obviously, to increase the number of laps, and the circuit sizes have reduced over time, and safety's become more and more of an increasing and important factor for real-life racers. It's rather disappointingly on my own personal preference that we don't have the historic layout. As you see, Bobby Ross there setting the initial time there, 1:29.8 during qualifying. Of course, we've got the qualifying that's well in the way, as mentioned at the moment, and then we're going to head out into racing. And well, it's 22 laps here from Hockenheim, and I'm sure we're not going to be short on action by any stretch of the imagination. And that lap right now from Bobby Ross is looking like an absolute corker in these early stages of qualifying. The driver's got 3 laps to complete. And wow, what can we say? Ross is 2.7 seconds clear of his closest challenger, which is currently Tyler Coates.
Yeah, that's impressive. I mean, for a minute and 29 seconds to already be 2 seconds, almost 3 seconds out ahead is pretty good. And this is what I was mentioning about Bobby. He is extremely quick around this track. The one thing that I don't want to give him a commentator's curse, Bobby, so I apologize, but what I've seen is he can be quick, but the consistency sometimes lacks. I know he's been working to get that consistency better because we all know he has the pace. So tonight is going to be a good indicator. The first race, official race for XSLR here for these 79s, and we'll see what he has improved and if he has improved, because man, I just want to see somebody try to give Cam a fight. I'm not saying it's not cool to see somebody 30 seconds out ahead at the end of the race, but it's always cooler to see 2 people battling.
It is indeed, and well, what can we say about these cars? It was once quoted by, I think it was Mario Andretti once said, if it looks fast, then chances are it is fast, and you can't argue with these cars. They are absolutely rapid. Of course, the Lotus 79 was the logical successor to the revolutionary Lotus 78, which first car to utilise ground effects by accelerating the airflow under its Venturi-shaped side pods to create previously unimaginable levels of downforce. And when you drive these cars, you can really feel it just pulls you into the road. There's so much grip, and we were just talking before the show, weren't we, Adam, about this track. It just allows for so many potential overtaking opportunities, combined with the grip level that these cars provide the drivers. I think we could see some what might be deemed brave and crazy overtakes, and I think we're definitely not going to be short on action, especially during the first few opening laps where the tyres are cold and drivers are just starting to bed in and getting used to this car and how the competitors are around them, as we see Cameron Peterson there setting a new fastest lap in qualifying. Well, I was going to say goes the second clear of Ross, but Brendan Huron coming back with a reply, going within half a second there, going to make up your front row as it stands at the moment. But yeah, I'm sure we're going to be for tons of potential overtaking opportunities around Hockenheim.
Em, I am so excited. If you watching this track, you've got the first corner, turn 2, 3, 4. Technically, turn 5 is what's called parabolica here, and it's especially for these cars, not really a turn. And you're going to get a head of steam going into the hairpin at turn 6. I think we're going to see definitely some moves there. And then as you get towards the back of the track as well, you get through 11, 12, 13, 14. That's when the track starts to tighten up as well, and still some very heavy braking zones. What I don't know, Tim, because I haven't driven these cars enough to know, I don't think Dirty Air, with all of the ground effect that these cars used back then, and we know iRacing is a very good model for that, I don't think there's probably going to be much dirty air either. So these cars should be able to stick much closer together than what you would see in a modern F1 race. So it should allow, especially into these heavy braking zones, cars to stay closer through some of these sweeping fast corners and allow for passing into those heavy zones.
You are absolutely spot on. It's an absolute gem of a car. On a personal level, I'm slightly gutted that the championship's not going to Brands Hatch, because the Lotus 79 around there is one of the absolutely most underrated and amazing track and car combos available on the service. And we see Cameron Peterson, he's got the fastest lap so far, extending his gap over Brendan Huron in second place by an additional half a second, taking that gap out to just over a second. But what for me is the more interesting point is the midfield, with some incredibly close times. DiPiero and Darling within just over 100th of a second separating their two qualifying times. Going to be plenty of fascinating battles to watch out for in the midfield. Likewise, at the rear of the field, even with Lozano and Irwin. Again, incredibly close times, 300ths of a second separating those drivers. It's definitely going to be a really interesting race to watch today. And who's going to come out victorious? Well, it's going to remain to be seen. We'll be able to find out in around about 22 laps time. Qualifying just coming towards an end. Just having to wait now for last few drivers. I think the only driver yet to set a time and doesn't look like they're going to be heading out to set a time is Mikulajczyk in the number 38 car.
So going into, I don't know if you guys remembered a couple weeks ago, there were a couple drivers. One of them was Paul Mikulajczyk. Got a slowdown into going across the finish line during the dirt road race. I cannot remember the track at this point, but they stopped on track and to clear that slowdown penalty and caused a pileup. So I know some of the guys here in XSLR, so I know that there was a pretty harsh penalty for stopping on track, so that is why he's not allowed to qualify. So Paul is going to be one of those guys we're probably going to see charging up through the field, because I know Paul is a pretty quick road racer as well, so that's going to be interesting to watch and kind of seeing how he can navigate his way through this field and how far up he can get. With only 12 drivers on the grid today, every single one of them are going to get some points here, so we'll kind of see how all this goes.
Definitely everything up for grabs here today in Germany, and this is going to be your grid. Cameron Peterson, he is on pole with Brendan Herron joining him on the front row. Bobby Ross has got DiPiero with him, company on the second row with Darling and Keir on the third row of the grid. Tyler Coates, he's with Mike Sorum, and Howard and Lozano run out your top 10 and fifth row of the grid with Erwin and Mikolajczyk making up the rest of your field. Now, as always, we're talking about all the sponsors for this league during the race. First one to talk about is Dangerous. Dangerous are a top 3D virtualization firm specializing in high-quality 3D products, CAD package rendering service, and photorealistic product visuals. They specialize in automotive subjects and have extensive industrial and consumer product experience. Let them help you visualize, promote, and communicate your design. You can find out more about them by visiting dangerous.net. That brings us just in time, and we head off racing here at Hockenheim.
What a start!
Wow, Peterson not getting away too well.
Oh, no.
Really pulling out a gap already. 4/10 of a second as they head down to turn 2 for the first time, and getting away relatively safe. Just looking down the midfield, some action happening down there as Mikolajczyk making up a place in these early stages and getting up into 11th, but it's this four-way battle in the rear. Sorum, Mikolajczyk, Lozano and Erwin, and we're going to have potentially even a free wide on the way down. As you see, the leaders just come through here. Oh, there's been contact. Oh no, and this drive, I think it was that Bob trying to catch who that was.
That was Mike Sorum spinning.
Was it? Caught someone else. Oh, it was Tyler Coates as well. Caught up, and that's extensive damage to both of their cars. And not helping them in these early stages here in Germany. Out in front, Herron leading Peterson by half a second already. Well, let's take a look at the replay, Adam, and see how this is all unfolded.
Yeah, I think I mentioned Parabolica going into turn 6. I think this claimed its first victim, and somebody just forgot to hit the brakes. Who was that?
Next stage there, where, well, for no fault of his own, Sorum was obviously spinning and taking out Tyler Coates in the process as well. You just see here, Darling hunting down DiPiero right now. That's a second separating these two. Head down to iFart Parabolica. The second time this evening, and this is the crucial part. It's a bit of a tricky exit off there. If you can hook it up and get everything right, especially tricky in these early stages where it's about 4 or 5 laps at least to get the tyres warmed up and bedded in here in this car. And you can really make a good exit out there that you can expect to overtake down into where we are now. Spitzker as they head round into the Mercedes arena.
These cars, as good as they are, you just hit on it, it does take quite a while to get these tires warmed up, and I think that first lap incident was kind of maybe a mistake. Looks like we got Kevin Irwin back there spinning in 10th place, but yeah, these cars, and that's probably a good example right there, the tires don't warm up as quickly as I think some of these drivers expect, so they get into these corners a little too quick. Brakes aren't hot yet, tires aren't warm, so it just creates a bit of a lock-up situation or worse. But yeah, looking at Paul Mikolajczyk, just flashed his screen. He's already up into 7th place, and this battle right now with Brendan Horn and Cameron Peterson hasn't gone away. Brendan's holding his own against him up here.
Yes, indeed. He's able to take quite a bit of the curbing on the left-hand side on the exit out of Nordkurve there, turn 1. And she just carries so much momentum through them, so much speed. And this is where I'm sure we're going to see the battle of the slipstreams on the run down through. Well, it's classed as Parabolica. That's his long swooping left-hander, as you see in the back, further down the field here. Lozano and Howard having a right good go at one another right now. And interesting to see how Howard can pull alongside.
Look at that slipstream effect.
As he heads around the outside potentially here. You see Lozano making him do all the hard work.
What a move.
Well, can he even pull it off? Is just not getting the better exits off there, just compromise from that shallower line where he's looking for the cutback as they head into the Mercedes arena. Oh, a lock up and a mistake there, and that's what's going to allow Howard to come through and claim that 8th place.
Yeah, that was a great move. Looks like Howard was pretty patient. Tried a couple corners, a couple different moves, and eventually Lozano just made the mistake himself, and Howard was able to get by him. And this is what we were talking about the overtaking with these cars. We're already seeing plenty of it. We've only got 12 cars in the field, so this is great to see. This battle with Jerry DiPiero and Jaden Darling still raging on as well. These guys are all, for the most part, I was expecting a bit more carnage, Tim. You know, with this being the first race of this Asphalt Road Series, everyone's keeping it together pretty well.
And what's interesting is that the way that Ross is he's nearly keeping in touch with our top two of Huron and Peterson right now. So here through Parabolica, what's classed as the back straight, although it's a long swooping left-hander as they come down then on the brakes into Spitzker. This is where you can make up so much time potentially, and you see this battle still raging on between DiPiero and Darling, and just might have caught it in the background there. Nikolajczyk just making up another, well, trying to make up another place. That was in the scrap with Lozano. Oh, they both run it in a bit too deep there. It's all, well, I'll tell you what, a bump over the curb. It's all happening out there. As James Keir there, with a bit of a, well, that's certainly not going to help the underside of the car with bouncing across the curbs like that.
Well, I mean, if you've got a red and white car with, it looks like a pierogi on the front, breathing down your neck. If I'm James Keir, I don't think I'm not too comfortable right now either. I don't want to get passed by a pierogi, but it looks like this is about to happen. Paul is really making some great moves here early on, definitely showing that he has the pace. Might be an opportunity right here going into one if he can catch the slipstream, but definitely if he doesn't get it done here, get it done at Parabolica, probably turn 5 into turn 6.
It's one of those tricky part of the circuit, that, because, like you say, it's really inviting to make a move as well. You see Nikolajczyk not hanging around there or waiting for the slipstream along through Parabolica. Gets the move done there.
Here
into
comes the
turn
slipstream,
2.
though. With
Wow,
Keir, now Keir's going to have it. So we'll see if Keir can make a move back, and it looks like he's going to try to do it. Drive it down the inside, maybe? Nope, he thought better of it. Uh-oh.
We've got that's Kevin Irwin in a bit of pain there, and lights up the rear tyres, trying to get Pointy back in the right direction. A bit too overzealous there with the loud pedal, but he's back on his way once more. As wow, these two, they've been pretty much had a constant gap of around about half a second currently, constantly between them. So it's been ebbing and flowing a bit either way, but they're still leading from Peterson. We got Ross, DiPiero, Darling, Nikolajczyk from the back of the grid has made up 6 places into 6th right now. James Keir 7th, Lozano 8th, Howard 9th, Irwin 10th with Coates and Soren rounding out your field here in Germany. And, well, you can see Irwin setting a new fastest lap of the race there, and Peterson he did actually go quicker. However, his lap time did get deleted due to an off track. These two are really pushing it hard right now.
Yeah, so here's the thing with Horn that I failed to mention, and I've been talking about Bobby Ross. I know Brennan is a pretty good road racer. I know he's quick in the Miatas, but this is a whole different beast than those Miatas. And for him to be as good as he is, I really haven't seen him much. I haven't been able to practice with these guys or anything due to some personal issues, but to see Brennan out here maybe not commanding, but definitely giving Cam a run for his money. This may go down to the wire. Brennan is not putting a car at all in the wrong spot, just getting around the track nice and clean and quick and consistent. So this battle, I think, as I say that, Cam is, again, ebbing and flowing. The gap goes between 2 and 5/10 of a second, depending on the lap. But, man, this is going to go on for a while. And, Tim, what I failed to mention is these cars are fueled to 20%, so it is going to force a pit stop. So that may, depending on how people are able to get into their pits and out of the pits, that's going to might add a bit more a wrinkle to things, let's say.
It's definitely going to add some spice to the meal, let's say. So we just see this battle here right now between Coates and Irwin. It's over 10th place. Of course, Coates caught up in that corner action. It's just Irwin just snatching a break there. Right, locking up into Spets curb there. They drag out of it, and this is going to prevent him from getting a move done into the Mercedes arena. However, 7 laps complete so far. So plenty of opportunity. Well, I say that because he locks up again there, Irwin. And oh, this is Mika Lychik. What's happened to him? Oh, a launch across curb, and around he goes.
Those things. Wow. Oh my goodness, those curbs are not very nice, are they, Tim? Wow, that thing just, I think he caught all 4 tires came off the ground there. Real quick, I wanted to give a shout out to some of the people here in the YouTube chat. Jake Ham, unfortunately not racing with us tonight, but following along board through the stream. So what's up, Jake? Glad to see you're watching. Hope to see you back, or we will see you back next weekend. And hello, Jonathan. How are things going tonight as well? But man, this race up front is still raging on. These curbs, you know, Tim, these cars are just great, super quick, super sticky, but man, if you just make one wrong move, like what Brennan is trying to do to get around Mike.
Well, as it all goes wrong for Brennan Huron in the blink of an eye, trying to get past Sorum there. He rejoins the track, and well, I think maybe, well, I'm sure we'll see from the replay, did Huron get a bit too overzealous there and trying to make progress? And we're going to take a look here into turn 1. He's going to head, well, the door was left open, but he just understeered wide and sent him straight into Sorum.
Man, and you know, that curb there into 1, which almost claimed Paul. Almost claimed Brennan as well. You wonder if Brennan was kind of got into that thing a little deep, and he was like, well, you know, you got to make the move still. You're already there. But, man, it just washed out on him as Kevin Irwin gets around again. Still trying to get the hang of these cars, I think.
He is indeed. And let's mention to one of our other sponsors for this league, Nexus Fab. Nexus Fabrication specialises in metal fabrication and manufacturing for commercial, residential and custom projects, as well as signage, furniture and metal repair work. You can visit them at nexusfab.com. And well, as we start to come up towards half race distance, Cameron Peterson now has a very, very handy and comfortable cushion of 5 seconds to Ross in 2nd place. Huron down to 3rd after that incident into turn 1. Di Piero 4th, Darling 5th, Nikolajczyk up 6 places as we mentioned. Great drive from him from the back to get into 6th. Here in 7th, Lizano 8th, Howard 9th, Coates 10th. Irwin currently in the pits. Likewise, Coates has already taken to the pits as well, and I think Sora may well have. No, sorry, apologies. I think he's up and running again.
Oh no!
Just having a. That is.
I don't think that's how that car is supposed to be driving around that track, Tim.
No, that is definitely crabbing some hefty damage. So that's wow, historic Formula 1 car. Yeah, that must have been all caused from this incident into 1. So we take another look at it. Wow. And wow.
I'm honestly surprised that Brennan doesn't have more damage than he does. Riding on, or looking at Brennan, there doesn't seem to be much damage. Now, he may be struggling with the car a little more than we think he is. You can definitely see the tail end wiggling around a little bit, but for the amount of damage on Sorum's car, you'd think there'd be more on that one too.
Be interested to know and see when he heads down the straights if he's having to put it. Oh, hello, that's our leader. That's Peterson. And Ross is just headed past him. We've just seen him flash through there. And turn 1 claims yet another victim.
Oh my goodness, that turn 1 is tricky. I didn't expect turn 1 to be as tough as it is, but I mean, with that curb on the inside, you get it a little too wide, you get out on the curb on the outside and just lose the grip. This is, wow. Oh man, let's keep going. I'm getting into it now. You got, is that Paul Mikulai? No, that's Horan right behind him again. Here we go.
Well, it is back on between Peterson and Horan once more, but this time they've got Bobby Ross in front of them. And Karen Peterson, he was pushing hard last time. He set fastest lap of the race, 1:28.3. And wow, it's all fallen apart from him in the blink of an eye. And that's the issue with these cars. You can push them incredibly hard, but it's everything coming at you is such a rapid rate of knots, and I think probably relieving to a lot of the other drivers in this series that maybe, you know, there is definitely a potential mistake in Cameron Peterson.
He is human. Yes. I haven't seen one yet. He hasn't put a foot wrong. The race at Daytona wasn't really his fault. Got caught up in, well, what is? Oh, and that's Jaden Darling out of 5th place. Was battling with Jerry DiPiero pretty hard there. Just got out into the sand a little bit.
Having a bit of a drift through the stadium section there, and as he entered it, I think, is he going to run it out wide? No, he's not. It's on this wow, they get run in too deep.
Yeah, keeps it off the wall though, which is good. Car's still able to drive around, no damage really. I know in real life some of those cars you can get damaged by the rocks kind of getting up underneath the car and making quite a bit of damage, but you know, as of right now, it looks to be okay. Looks like we may have our first actual pit stop here with Jimmy Howard in the pit lane on lap 11.
Go Howard visiting the pits, and wow, that battle for the lead. All 3 podium positions currently covered by 1.6 seconds. You can just sense how much Horan is pushing to stay in touch with our top 2 of Ross and Peterson right now. Peterson in a bit of unknown territory in this league. He's now having to be the aggressor, the chaser, the attacker, as he tries to catch up right onto the tail end of Ross as they come out of the stadium section here.
Oh, caught that. Got pretty tight there on final corner. Able to keep it going, and we got Brennan into the pits. There is one quick repair. So these drivers can come in, the car will repair instantly. So if Brennan was battling some damage, he'll be able to get that fixed right now for free with no time penalty and be able to get back out there. So maybe the undercut could be something with these 2 battling up here. And you got Mike Sorum again. Gonna have to come up and lap Mike Sorum, so we'll see how this goes.
Like you said, it's going to be the interesting point this, because as we see an attack for the lead, as Peterson heads this inside, just backs out of it. Sorum moves well out of their way, trying to stay well clear of this little fight that's happening, and Ross just able to hold on to the lead. We look down from the helicopter right now as we head down through into the Mercedes arena. And you see Ross looking comfortable at the moment, as he knows there's not too much of an overtaking opportunity for these next few corners, and looking to get the best possible exit to try and grow that gap over Peterson, currently in 2nd place as they whistle past the cameras and head down towards that curve. It's really high on this battle.
Looking how close these drivers are, any little mistake is going to really turn into a big one, especially with pit stops coming up. I think that's going to be a pretty big factor here, who decides to go first. And when one goes, I'm sure the other one will. Again, Brennan's already been into the pits and he's out. So he's looking at the gaps here. He's slowly but surely catching this pack. He was about 1.5 seconds off when he went into the pits. He's about 23 seconds now. So we'll kind of see how this battle goes and when they come into the pits. But man, you cannot put a foot wrong if you speed going into the pits. It's game over.
It is a big whopping 40-second penalty that'll pay ruin to anyone's races. But right now, this is playing right into the hands of Huron, because these two, they're battling. They're slowing each other up as they're squabbling over first place right now. And Huron just having a bit of a look. He's in some fresh air as we see Lozano heading into the pit lane right now. Up on Jack. He's going for a tyre change. That's not going to help him.
I don't think that was planned. Maybe it was. Maybe it was, but I don't think so.
I sense someone may have gotten to turn off their tyres being changed when they enter the pits, but even so, it's quite a relatively quick stop. There's a lockup from Ross there as he heads into Sachs curve, gets away with it through that part of the circuit. It's a round suit curve now, and he checks out. Ross heads to pit road.
All right, Bobby, keep it clean through here, man. Make sure to get into the pits clean. Don't blow past your box. Don't speed getting into the pits. This is going to be interesting here to see how quickly he can get in and get out, because I know Brennan's going to be coming in this next lap. So on cold tires, Brennan's already gotten that cold tire stage out of the way with having coming into the pits and slowing down. Oh, my goodness. I thought Brennan almost lost it right there, but here he comes. Is he going to be able to get past Ross?
Well, this is
Ross is coming on pit exit.
Oh, a bit of a traffic jam with Tyler Coates on pit exit there. And Huron head. No, that's Michael. Is that Michael?
No, that's Brennan. Brennan did make it.
Wow, and he's got a big gap as well. Nearly 2.5 seconds he's already pulled out over Ross. Wow.
And that gap, Tim, has come down about a second between when we were watching the gaps while those two were battling. I looked up and it was 21 or 23.1 and it's down to 22.2. So Brennan's pulled about a second back here on Cam, and I would assume Cam's going to be coming here pretty quick as well, because the car's going to run out of gas eventually.
Wow, this is fascinating stuff being played out here at the Hockenheimring. You see he's got a fistful of bourbon as his sponsor written on the side of the car, and he's going to need an absolute fistful of luck and skill to try and pull this one off as Peterson heads into the pit. Where is he going to come out? Has Huron done enough as he comes onto the brakes? And he's pulling up onto his pit box, and I'm mentioning another one of our sponsors. We slot them in at Shears Salon, located in Grand Forks, North Dakota. Shears Salon. Trust your peers and come to Shears. You find out more about them on Facebook at Samantha Shears Salon. Samantha at Shears Salon. And as we see them on pit exit. Huron's going to have the speed. Peterson's still getting up, and can he hold on? Yes, he's going to. So come down. Wow, like you say, for now, because Huron, as you said, he's got the car back up to temperature again, and he's now in slipstream range. Full attack mode for Huron now. So round parabolica and head down to Spets curb. This could take a big moment. Wow, he makes Peterson have a bit of a... makes him look in his mirrors, and you can see Peterson...
defensive.
Yeah, does not feel comfortable right now with the gap between himself and Huron, and this is playing out in roles reverse of what we saw at the start of the race.
Yeah, all right, Cam. You finally got a battle here, buddy.
Wow.
Let's see what he can do.
Look who's in front of them. It's Mike Sorum. They're going to come round to the lap. And remember what happened last time? They caught up to the back, and I think they're going to catch him pretty much at exactly the same point as well.
If I know Mike, which I do know Mike pretty well, I'm pretty sure Mike is going to see them coming and get well out of the way after that first incident. I don't think he wants to be any type of factor. There it is. Any type of factor in what decides this race win as Brennan tries to make another move, maybe getting a little bit. That was weird for Brennan to do. They both get on the curb going into one. Wow, this is interesting. Interesting tactics here by Brennan. Wonder if he's just trying to rattle Cam's cage just a little bit.
I'm sure he's got to be, because he's, from being behind him for these last couple of laps, you can see the defensive lines that Peterson has been taking, where he clearly does not feel comfortable enough and confident enough in the car underneath them to keep him in that first place as they come down in the Spets curve. This way, he can make up so much time, but equally, he can lose so much time. And Peterson just getting out a little bit better, gives himself that extra 10th advantage over her. And wow, we've got 6 laps remaining here at Hockenheimring, and this one is going to come right down to the wire between our top 2.
Yeah, Brennan seems to be maybe a little bit better there towards the back section of that track, getting onto the start-finish straight. As I say that, yeah, about 9/10 of a second, but Cam just seems to be able to pull that gap away just enough before turn 6. As I saw some smoke, maybe a lock up by somebody, but yeah, this will come down to the wire. Brennan's gonna have to stay within that slipstream. If he gets much further away than this, that slipstream is gonna go away. We got a battle here between Paul Mikolajczyk and Jerry DiPiero for 4th and 5th as well.
Well, Mikolajczyk, he's made up another bit of a lock-up there. He's already made up another place, and he now finds himself in 5th. He's up 7 places from where he started. You said it before the race, Adam, you'd be one to watch out for coming from the back of the field. And you weren't wrong at all.
No, he definitely knows how to get this car around this track. Made one mistake going into 1, catching that sausage curb on the right side. There was a lockup in front. Looked like maybe a battle going on back there, but no, I think Paul, if he can get past Jerry, I mean, we've seen mistakes happen between every single one of these guys in the top 3 have made at least one mistake so far this race. So you know, with that being said, there could be another one that happens as Paul gets down to the right side, trying to get through Parabolica here, going to try to take him on the inside, going through the hairpin. Jerry's like, I think I'll let you go. Oh my goodness, Jerry gets such more of a better run through the middle of the corner there, but Paul able to keep him behind him.
You have to wonder whether Mikolajczyk there, using the tactic of just slowing the car up, just maybe not getting the best of exit off the corner deliberately, so it would kill off any momentum and any undercut that DiPiero is looking to, switch back. He was looking to try and perform on Mikolajczyk. Well, he's definitely no slouch, and wily old Fox using all of his racecraft to keep hold of that 4th place.
Yeah, absolutely, and this battle's going to be raging on here for a minute, I think. Looking back up here at the front, Brennan's 2 seconds now, so I think either there was a pretty big mistake here.
Yeah, they go last lap,
17.
1 second.
Yeah.
Second difference, and that's where the big gap has come from. I mean, interestingly as well, Bobby Ross, I thought he might have been able to just, keep in search, as that was Darling there. Having a bit of a moment, having to tow the car. Let's take a look at what happened to him. Oh, that's blown engine.
Oh, well, I don't think you're going to be going very far with smoke coming out of the back like that. Probably be getting hold of his engine manufacturer right there and seeing what's going on. But got a battle here between Tyler Coates and James Keir.
Well, that was cleverly done by Coates there. You could see Keir coming with all guns blazing and just backs right out of it. Let him come by, and then just interestingly looked for the switchback, but didn't quite manage to hold on to it. As you look down from above, this is a replay of it, and you see him just back right out of it. They go, thank you very much, I'll have that big chunk of space. You can leave up the inside, but amazingly, there's a pure drag race between them. Couldn't get the move done.
No, he couldn't, but Keir's got a bit of damage on that front wing, so that's not going to help him. I think that slipstream, he's going to have to stay in that slipstream of Tyler to be able to get this move done. Man, they got over that on that sausage curve. That is not where you want to be in those cars.
No, it's definitely one part you want to be staying away from in any of the single-seater cars, to be fair, let alone these Lotus 79 machines as we head down to turn 2. It's definitely getting interesting. It's currently our closest battle.
We've got I see a crash with Brendan Horn just popped up here in my live timing. Bobby Ross has also crashed, I hope. Man, what is going on here? I don't see the gaps are now getting bigger. Wonder what happened. If we could maybe get that pulled up there on the overlay. It looks like Kevin Irwin has crashed. Darian Lozano there. I wonder what's going on here.
sure because it looks like the gaps have sort of stabilised a little bit. I'm sure we'll find out in due course. And see her finds himself 2.8 seconds behind our leader Peterson.
Our production guy, Dennis, thank you. He said I think it was probably a bit of a blink, so that's probably what's going on. Maybe just a connection issue. So, yeah, this battle here about 2.7 seconds. Tim, I don't think Brendan. Now you're looking for a mistake from Cam. Cam's gonna have to make a mistake here.
He's with 2 laps remaining here of round 9 of the championship road. Round 1 of this section of the league. And is it going to be another win for the Canadian? Well, not long left to find out. And she's another one of our sponsors for the league. Chet Duranek, Crohn's and Colitis Foundation. Crohn's and Colitis Foundation is a non-profit, volunteer-fueled organisation dedicated to finding cures for Crohn's disease and ulcerative colitis, and improving the quality of life for children and adults affected by the disease. You can find out more about them by heading to Crohn's Colitis Foundation.org. Wow. To find out more information, as we said, only 2 laps remaining here, and then we had to find out who's come out victorious.
I just happened to look up at the lap counter. I have not been paying attention at all. This is one of the more enthralling races I think I've covered here for XSLR. Just these battles across the whole field have been intense. I don't want it to be over. We need to make it. We're going to do an endurance race in these cars. It's decided.
It's the beauty of this league is that there's always something different going on. Obviously, with covering all 4 sections within iRacing. Obviously, the dirt ovals yet to come. That's going to be the final section and of the championship. Obviously, the asphalt, the oval, the dirt road, as it was called. Obviously, we use the pro trucks for that part of the championship, and it just offers so much different stuff, and with different formats of racing as well. It's a real mixed variety, bag of tricks almost that just keeps conjuring up such great racing week in, week out.
It is, and the organizers of this league have done a great job in that, being able to keep the racing good, for lack of a better term. I mean, these guys are now into season 3, and always able to come up with new ideas. I'm actually an admin in this league, and with the admins around that are constantly keeping the wheels turning in their brains to make sure that the racing does stay good, and we're able to get around through different courses and not just keep doing the same thing over and over every season is really great to see, and it keeps the racing close, as you said. A lot of these drivers, most drivers in iRacing, only run about one discipline, so to watch these drivers come out here and try something new and succeed at it, look at Cameron Peterson now, about to win race number 9, if I'm correct. So yeah, race number 8, I apologize. So he's definitely, you want to talk about an all-rounders. We have a spinner by James Keir, who was past Tyler Coates.
Well, it's going to take him down the order by, apologies, he's going to keep hold of that place, although someone's going to close right up, and let's take a look at how it all unfolded for the Brit. We're going to get too much curb. Oh, no, a big tank slapper mid-corner there. That's,
at least, again, kept it off the wall. Lost 1 position, but still there in 8th place behind Tyler Coates. And here we come with Cameron Peterson. This guy is, man, I know he was sweating. I bet this was probably, if you gave him the true serum, probably one of the toughest races he's done in this league so far. But looks like he's going to bring it back out on top again.
Wow, not many corners left to go, but of course, we're being occupied. They are all ever so tricky curbs to avoid. Different cambers of corners. He's only got some 3 corners left here in Germany. And will he come out victorious? Well, final corner left to go. And as he rounds through Sue Curve, is Cameron Peterson. He's going to take the victory here in round 9 of the championship. Brennan Huron coming home in 2nd. So there we go, Bobby Ross claims that last podium position here. It's been a falling race between our top 3 guys, and well, hats off to this, guys.
Oh my goodness.
8 places. I say that again, 8 places, started right at the back of the grid. Well, he's got pierogies with wings written on the side of his car, but, well, I think he's personally got wings in the way he's managed to elevate himself up through the rankings in just a short space of time.
Yes, that was great driving by Paul. Again, the mistake we saw, but able to get back through that and still get up there into 4th place. Jared Piero coming across the line in 5th with, oh man, that paint job. Man, I love that paint job. But following on here with Jimmy Howitt, about to cross the line here, going to take 6th place. He was up 3 positions from the start, so good drive by Jimmy. Kept it clean. Not the quickest, but able to keep it pretty clean here. And that's going to round out the drivers on the lead lap at this point.
Like you say, it's been all about just keeping your nose clean, hasn't it, this race? And I think it's going to be interesting as we sort of head further through this section of the championship. See how drivers go on, see how they handle the close wheel-to-wheel racing as, well, he knows it's done and dusted. They both do. Wow, I think that these guys just doing, one more, last person to be head over the line wins here, maybe. Yeah. Spot the results. I think that. Oh no, they're going for the photo op. There we go.
What a
race!
Top
3, lining up nicely there on the start-finish line. There they are in formation style, and let's take you through your classify results. Look, they've even lined it up perfectly so their cars fit underneath the results there. Peterson taking the victory here in Germany with Huron in 2nd. Ross set off a 3rd in the end. Paul Mikolajczyk, as we said, up 8 places to come home in 4th. A great drive from him. Di Piero 5th, Howard 6th, Coates 7th, and the first of our drivers to finish 1 lap down. Yeah, and Lozano also 1 lap off the leaders, with Darling 2 laps down. And they're into the retirees with Mike Sorum, who we lost on lap 18, and Kevin Irwin on lap 15. I guess it's a chance to shout out to our final sponsor for the evening, Viper Esports. Viper Esports is a sports and entertainment organisation based out of Greenville, North Carolina, focusing on providing professional athletes and content creators from around the world to compete at the highest possible level. The Vipers are a family of competitors, supporters, fans and grinders that share a mutual passion and drive for esports. To join the team, or to find out more about who they are, you can head across to viperesports.org. Wow. Just well, let's have a bit of a chat to our 2nd placed driver, now joined in the commentary booth by Brennan Huron. Brennan, that looks really tough out there today.
Yeah, it's not a Miata, I'll tell you that. I was sweating so much right now. Hanging through the gears and just the car was driving me. I wasn't driving the car tonight.
It's I mean, we saw that unlucky coming together that you had with Mike Sorum when you were in the lead. I mean, knowing how dominant that Cam Peterson has been in this league so far, a bit of your heart must have sunk to see him head off up the road into the distance.
Yeah, that incident was definitely a bit, if not totally on me. Yeah, he asked me where I wanted him to pull over, and I told him, but then he didn't hear me, so I repeated it, but he was saying what as I was repeating it. So yeah, it was just kind of like that. But I have a feeling that Cam would have passed me anyways, so it didn't really change much in the end. I think I would have been P2. Even if that didn't happen, I was just lucky to not have the car get totally destroyed in that. But yeah, I think that was my fault there.
And after that contact, were you carrying any damage? We were trying to work out from the commentary booth. There was nothing visual, but we weren't sure if you were fighting with any hidden problems within the car.
It felt like it, and that's why I pit. That's why I pit as early as I possibly could, just to get that fast repair. But it felt like I was understeering a little bit, and Bobby was starting to pull away from me just a tiny bit, and I knew that wasn't right because I knew I was about a half second quicker than him lap over lap. So yeah, I just wanted to get that fixed as fast as possible.
And before we let you go, Brennan, anyone you want to give a shout out to at all?
Well, all the admins at XSLR, and whoever voted for this car and track combination, totally one of the most fun cars that I've driven in a while. So happy for that, and thanks to Slicks Racing and TC and DDD or DDM, and yeah, that's it. Thanks to you guys for the broadcast too. It's a lot of fun.
It's a pleasure as all ours. That's Brendan Huron, who finished second here today at Hockenheimring. Right, we've got time to have a quick chat with our driver who claimed the last place on the podium. For yourself, Adam, it's Bobby Ross.
Bobby. Welcome in, man. Starting to get used to getting into this commentary booth now, huh?
Oh, yeah, and you as well. Are you getting used to it for commentary?
I'm trying, man. Hey, I was talking you up there before the race started. We know that you're pretty quick around this track or around with these cars. Kind of talk me through the race, man. You were there. It just never was able to get in your favor. I know maybe a bit of an unfortunate pit stop. Looked like you and Tyler Coates decided to come out of the pits at the same time, which didn't help you all, but still a pretty solid third place. How'd you like it out there? How'd it feel?
Very good, very good. It caught me off guard when I saw Brennan and Cameron spin. I was like, "Oh shit, this is my chance!" But and then like you said, the pit stop, that was just unfortunate, and I was trying to warn him ahead of time, and then he did it again on the pit exit. But I'm happy with the top three. It's all good. Overall, I'm very happy with this race. For some reason, I just could not get the tires to grip up, and the brakes were starting to lock up, especially towards the end. So I probably might have to fix some with the steering wheel or something regards with that. But you know what? I'm very happy with that. Overall, very satisfied.
Yeah, man, I would be too. I mean, to be able to say you finished that close with two of probably one of the better, I would probably say the best drivers, especially around the road with Brennan and Cameron, and you're pretty close third, man. So congratulations on your third place. Anybody you want to shout out? Anybody you want to thank before we let you go, Bobby?
Definitely. I just want to give a huge shout out to my family who's watching at my cousin Vanessa's house. I love you all. She's about to have her fourth child soon. And thank you to Rudy, Rohan, Jerry, and everyone that's part of the Risa Racing group. You guys are phenomenal, the best karting team of all time. And but yeah, and of course, thanks to Apex Racing for covering our races.
Awesome, Bobby. Well, thank you, and good luck to Vanessa. But anyways, man, Bobby, it was a heck of a race, and hopefully we're talking to you again next weekend.
Same. Take care, Adam.
See you, buddy.
It was just time to catch up with our race victor, and well, it's another victory, making it 8 wins from 9. Now joined by Cameron Peterson. Well, Cam, what can we say? You had to fight for that one out there today.
Yeah, but as a trade-off, I think I learned as much as I could. I had some issues with my my VR headset, and it wasn't working for me very well at all. So visibility was an issue, and that's one of the reasons why I spun out all by myself, which is pretty embarrassing. But you know, live and learn. But yeah, falling behind someone in these cars just takes away all your front end grip. You can make up a little bit on the draft, but I mean, it's so hard to keep up with someone because you just got no downforce on the front end, and they can just pull away from you on the exit of the corner while you push to the outside. So yeah, it was just a learning curve today. It's my first race in these things, so yeah, first place, I'll take it.
I'll definitely make it 100% race to win ratio. And well, I mean, obviously, next time out, we're going to head across to Silverstone. It's on the historic layout. How you feel about that track? Is it one you've raced much at all in the past, or was it relatively new to you?
I've never sim raced on that track, and I've also never sim raced on Hockenheimring either. So it's just going to be another learning experience. It's just going to be the same thing as every other series, or every other discipline. Just learn as I go. Yeah, and just take it in stride.
I'm angry and disappointed as a Brit that you've never raced on Silverstone. What can I say? No, in all seriousness, I mean, I mean, obviously coming into this section of the championship, kind of relatively obviously new to yourself. We've got some very tricky tracks coming up as well ahead of that. Zandvoort and then rounding out Watkins Glen. I know from personal experience that this car and track combo around Watkins is absolutely epic. I'm guessing that's probably this section of the championship, that's probably the one track that's really caught your eye.
Oh yeah, for sure. Zandvoort and as well as Watkins Glen, like you said. It's gonna be, like I said, just another learning curve. I got absolutely eaten alive on the start. That's my first time I've ever even launched a car. Silly me, never practiced that. But like I said, just take it in stride. But yeah, like you said, I'm definitely excited for those ones. I actually have laps at those 2 tracks. So
That definitely helps. Before we let you go, anyone you want to give a shout out to at all?
yep, everybody on the XSLR crew, all the admins, they're doing a phenomenal job. To Apex Racing TV for you guys for putting on the broadcast. I always look forward to watching it. The Jim Beaver Esports guys, General Tire, Fistful of Bourbon, Winners Get Whiskey, the whole crew, all my friends and family watching right now. My mom, Connie, I know she's watching. She always does.
She is.
Yeah,
Oh,
absolutely. Yes. Awesome, good. And my grandmother, my father, my brother at No Daughter Records, and yeah, everyone else watching. Thank you.
That's everyone. That's our race Victor here.
One second
Peterson.
here.
Oh,
1 second
go
here,
on.
Cam. We've actually just gotten a call here from the stewards. They said this was your first time around this track in that car, so they think something's a little funky for you to win the race. So you're gonna have to bring that car through the pit lane, and they're gonna have to take a look at it here.
Oh, they can do whatever they want with the car. That's fine with me.
All right, sounds great.
Well, there you go. That's Cam Peterson. Your Victor here today in Germany at the Hockenheim Ring and making it, wow, an impressive 8 wins from 9 so far this season. Wow. Adam, what can we say about this championship yet again? Not failed to deliver on action and excitement. What was your favourite moment of the evening?
For the first time that I've been broadcasting XSLR, I really have to say, Tim, I think it's the whole race. I mean, the whole race throughout the whole thing. The pit strategy did come into play a little bit. Brennan, even with that damage on his car, you wonder if he wouldn't have had the damage if he would have been able to undercut Cam there as Cam came into the pits, because it looked like he was definitely quicker while those two between Bobby and Cam were battling up there at the front. But if I have to pick a moment, I have to think that's it. To watch Brennan fall from glory in first place with that incident that appears to be just a miscommunication between a lap car and run with damage and come into the pits, get that thing repaired, and be able to almost take that lead back was pretty impressive. And to see somebody, as cool as it is to see Cam win every race, but just to see a battle up front, that was I think really the defining moment for me in this race.
Definitely lots of exciting moments, and great to have you all on board watching at home. Stay tuned to the channel. We've got the Colorado Karting Tour coming up straight after this show, so make sure you stay tuned for that one as they head across Zimbabwe Motorsport Park in the GT4s. And well, what can we say? It's an epic car, it's an epic track, and it's not failed to deliver once again in the XSLR Championship. From myself, Tim Cox, Dennis Branch, and Adam Thompson, we'll see you in a week's time as we head to Silverstone.